Okay, let's begin. Good afternoon to everyone. I hope everybody is doing well and safe and healthy. Okay, planning and control management, part 4, program progress, monitoring, updating, and controlling. Kindly subscribe, like, and share. Our previous episode was part 4, session 21 on progress update 001. It was about project variances report. And now here is our current episode for part 4, session 22. The same in progress update 001. And this is about the schedule, performance, cost, delays, and disruptions, status report summary. So that means we will be summarizing all our reports, summarizing the status of all our reports in one page. Okay, so what is the effectiveness of this status report summary? Okay, this will provide us a higher or executive level of information for the existing or current contract scope and current status of the project in every field, such as the schedule, performance, cost, delays, and disruption. So this is mostly the appetite of the project manager or the higher level management looking for a brief but concise and comprehensive report. So mostly the higher level executives wants to at a glance look at the status of the project in a higher level. And then whenever they need some details, the detailed reports are also available for them to verify the summary of the reports. Okay, so let's move forward. Okay, our objective here is to demonstrate how to organize a schedule, performance, cost, delays, and disruptions status report summary. Okay, moving forward. So here we go. So program update summary as of 30 June 2022. So meaning we are summarizing or collecting or collating all our detailed reports in a summary organization so that it can be seen in a quick or in a quick glance of our site. We can quickly see what is the status of the project and every field. Okay, so let's go. First is the project schedule. So this pertains to the time elements of our project. So we will be summarizing everything about the time elements of our project here. And next is the project cost. So the same thing. We will be summarizing everything for the cost element of our project. Next is the project performance and estimate at completion. Okay, so this here in our project, you are aware that we use the first technique, which is the estimate to complete is equals to the remaining total cost of the project. So meaning we did the actual estimate of the remaining cost of our project. Next is the delays and disruptions. So here we will be recording or summarizing everything here regarding the delays or disruptions that occurs in every period of the project. Okay, moving forward. Here, our contract duration here is 305. That is from the start of the project down to the completion is 305. Okay, next is now the actual duration of our project to date is 30. Okay, if you want, we will show. I think it's better to show the to show our Primavera. So we will go to the schedule report. Okay, we have here our schedule report. We prepared. Okay, project schedule status report. Okay, hold on. So the summary, our summary here, our summary in here are all taken from our Primavera report. Okay, so the only difference is that we summarize it in here, or I mean we organize it in here in a summary level of report. But everything in here was taken or is taken from our Primavera reports or detailed reports. So let's move. So this is our baseline duration. This is our contract duration, which is 305. Okay, we will just, okay. And then I think it's better to show this in here in this way. Okay. So 305, our actual duration here is 30. Okay. Next. Our remaining duration is 270. And then our at completion duration. Okay, the current at completion duration is 300. So meaning this is the outcome of our progress update for our current program. So our duration for our program now, for our current program is 300 days, while our contract duration is 305. So it is apparently we are ahead by 5 days here. Okay, next, our previous period at completion duration is 305. So when I say here previous period at completion duration is 305, since we have no previous program previous update yet, so that means our baseline program is our previous period. Okay, so the at completion or ACD at completion duration of our previous period here is 305. And the current is 300. Okay. Okay, next. Our baseline duration delay. So meaning when we say a baseline duration delay, we are talking about the delay of the baseline duration. So our baseline duration or the contract duration is 305. And our current at completion duration is 300. So meaning we are ahead of 5 days. So there is no delay. So speaking of delay, that means we have 0 delays in here. Instead, we are ahead by 5 days. Okay, next is a baseline duration percent complete. So I think you are already aware what the formula for this. This is the actual duration divided by the contract duration multiplied by 100. Next, the current duration percent complete. Okay. If you still can remember how to calculate this duration percent complete, so when we say current, we are talking about the current schedule. So when we say baseline duration percent complete, so we are considering the baseline schedule in here, in consideration to the actual duration. But here we are considering the current program. Okay, we are talking about our current program. So the formula for this one, if I still can remember, this is the original duration of the project less the remaining duration, and then divided by the original duration of the project. Okay, next, baseline duration variance. So this is what we mean here. Baseline duration variance is 5 days. So we are ahead by 5 days. I put a color in here, which is green. That means we are in good position on our project schedule. So the baseline duration delay is nothing, but we are ahead by 5 days. So this is the variance. So when the variance is negative, that means we are in delayed situation, and we can see it in our total flow. Whenever our total float is negative, so then our project is in a delayed situation. Okay, next, ahead of contractual completion. So overall, we are ahead against the contractual completion by 5 days. Okay, moving forward, so we will move to project cost. So our contract cost is 26,806,058.40. So we will open our Primavera. We will open our layout for our reports in project cost. Okay, project schedule, total project total cost status report. Okay, maybe this is the one. Okay, here we go. So this is our project total cost. So our contract cost is 26,806,058.40, which is this one. Okay. This is the baseline project total cost, which is equals to the budgeted total cost of the current schedule. So we don't have any changes on the budgeted total cost. But our contract cost is always refers to the project total cost or baseline. Or when it comes to an earned value terminologies, we call this as the budget at completion. Anyway, we can see it in our earned value later, or our performance report, summary report. Okay, let's move forward. So our actual cost, of course, is the say 838,100. So we can see it here. Actual cost here is 838,100. Our baseline actual cost is 0 because it is not an updated schedule when we assigned it as a baseline. Okay, next. Here is the remaining total cost. So here we can see the remaining total cost here. Okay, let's move it here. So here is the remaining total cost for the current program. So we have here 25,256,832. Okay. And here is our at completion total cost, which is 26,094932. So you can see it here. Okay, next is the total cost variance. So this is simply the difference of the contract cost against the at completion cost. So meaning if you subtract the, I mean, if you subtract the contract cost, I mean the at completion cost against the contract cost. So the variance, that is the variance in there. If the variance is negative in, if the value of the variance is negative, so that means the project is not doing well. Okay, but since it is positive, so I put it as in a green color, meaning it is our cost, our project cost element is in good shape. Okay, move. Cost a percent of budget, that is 3.13%. So you can see, we can see it here. The cost percent of budget 3.13, and the cost percent of the total cost is 3.21. Okay. This is simply cost percent of the budget. This is simply the actual cost divided by the budget, of course. While the cost percent of total cost, that is the actual cost divided by the at completion cost. Okay, next, cost underrun at completion. So this is the overall result, or the overall standing of our project cost. That meaning the our cost or expenditure is at underrun position at completion period. So meaning at completion, it is projected that it will be underrun if the performance is or the expenditure is doing well, or it may be the cost variance may be at completion may be bigger than this amount or this value. It depends on the spending. I mean, it depends on the spending of the project execution. So next, we will go to the project performance and estimate at completion. Okay, let's move forward. So budget at completion, this is what I'm telling. Budget at completion when it comes to the earned value, when it comes to the project cost, on a current project, we call it as a budgeted total cost. But when it comes to the earned value, but when the project is assigned as a baseline, the terminologies being used by the earned value management system is the budget at completion. That is the terminologies being used by Primavera. Okay, next we can see it here. We will open our layout for our performance and cost report. Okay, let's move. Performance. No, this is not the one. Performance and cost report. Is this one? Performance and cost histogram. Okay, anyway, we can use this one, performance and cost histogram. Okay, here. So here we can see here the planned value cost, let's say budget at completion. Actually, it is not stated here. Let's say we'll look for the, I think we have the layout for the performance. Earned value baseline option. Okay, this one, the earned value performance report. Okay, let's apply. Okay, so here we go. I will just scroll up the roll up the WBS. So here the budget at completion is 26,806,058.4. This one. Now I'm looking at the other side. Okay, this one 806.4, right? Have you seen this one? So I will move this one. Okay. So next, we have here the planned value, the actual cost, the earned value, schedule percent complete. This schedule percent complete, this is the percentage that we should have to, or we planned to do for the current period, the cumulative percentage. And also for this one, we need to perform, our performance is 5.6%. So that means our performance is bigger compared to the plant. So that means we are ahead of schedule. And when you compare the performance, our performance percent complete, if you compare it in our expenditure or our spending, which is 3.21%, it is much less compared to our performance. So meaning our performance percent complete, we are earning much compared to our spending. So we're spending less than what we earned. Okay. I think I have already explained this one. So let's move forward to our summary report. I've just shown this one so that to let you see that what we are reflecting in here in our summary, our program update summary, is taken from our Primavera detailed reports. Okay, so let's move forward. So plan value cost is 1281. This is our actual cost, 828,100. This is our earned value cost. This one is our estimate to complete, in which we adopt the remaining, we adopt the technique which is using the remaining cost of the project. Next is the estimate at completion. Okay. So here we can find this one, we can find it here in our report. For our, this one is the earned value performance report. So we will go to the earned value where we can find it, estimate at completion or performance. Yes, this one, performance and cost histogram. Okay. So here it is. The estimate at completion is one. Okay, where is it? Okay, we will summarize it. It's 26,094,932.4. And in here, if you can see here, this is the projection, which is good for how many months? One, two, the projection, we have already finished this one, the first month. So our projection is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 months. Okay. Okay, let's move forward. Here we have the schedule variance. So I think you know what is a schedule variance. That is always referring to the earned value less to the planned value cost. And then cost variance is the same. We are always referring to the earned value less the actual cost. Okay, that is the cost variance. Now, accounting variance. So this one, this accounting variance is the use of this one is to see whether we are overrun on our, let's say, for example, in our current period, we can see whether we are overrunning or underrunning of the spending compared to the planned value cost. So that means accounting variance or accounting, the term accounting here, variance is refers to the planned or the budget value, budgeted, I mean, the budgeted cost or the planned value cost compared to the actual cost. So meaning if our actual cost is bigger compared to the one we planned for a particular period, then that means we are overspending, or I mean, yeah, overspending, or we are overrun against the our budget. Okay, so what? But if the actual cost is lesser than the planned value for the particular period, like for example, our period now, which is for the month of June. So that means the spending is underrun. Okay, so 1281 less this one will give you the 443. Next is at completion variance. So at completion variance, of course, the same as in project cost. That is the at completion or estimated completion less the budgeted budget at completion. Okay. So if you look at here, the total when we go to the cost element of our project, the total cost variance is 711,126. And our at completion here, when it comes to our performance report, they are the same, right? It is because the technique we use in calculating the estimate to complete here is the remaining total cost, which is the same as the our estimated remaining total cost for our project. This is the first technique we used, in which the estimate to complete is equal to the remaining total cost of the project. But if we will be using the other technique, so they would not be the same. This would not be the same because let's say, for example, if we use the second technique, which is the budget at completion less the earned value, so we will be having a different figure here. It only comes out that this value now are the same because there is no doubt that the reason is we use the remaining total cost as the estimate to complete. So estimate to complete here is I encloses the remaining total cost, which is equals to 25256, which is the same as in here. Okay, let's move. Schedule percent complete. As I said, referring the earned value as the center of attraction here. Okay, so that means earned value, let's say schedule percent complete is the earned value divided by the plan will give you the percentage. Okay, and next is the performance percent complete. So this performance percent complete, oh no, I'm this 4.78, it is, I'm sorry, I think I'm wrong on explaining to you regarding the schedule percent complete. Schedule percent complete is the percent complete for the period or for the current period. This is a cumulative percent complete of the current period. Okay, what I was explaining to you was the this SPI. I'm sorry for that. Anyway, this is our performance percent complete. Of course, this is the outcome of our performance for this period. It depends on the, let's say, for example, we have done 50% of our activity for several activities. So this is the outcome or the result of our performance percent complete. Depends on our the productivity of our progress. Okay, next we have the cost percent complete. So this one depends also. This is the cost percent complete is the actual cost divided by the um, at completion. The at completion cost or estimated completion. Okay, let's move forward. Our SPI is 117, CPI is 179, and CBI is 0.44. Let's look at our Primavera, if it is really, okay, let's move to our layout here, which is the earn value and performance report. Okay. Okay, here we go. So here are the performance. Okay. So we have 5.36, 5.6 for the performance percent complete, 321, 219. What is this 219? This is the schedule variance. And we have here the our accounting variance, 443,598. And we have here our SPI, CPI, and CBI. So just review the formula for this one. Actually, we have already tackled this one. SPI is the earned value divided by the planned value. The CPI is the earned value divided by the actual cost. And about CBI? Okay, just take a look on our formula. So let's move forward. So our the overall remarks of our project performance and estimated completion is to date, we are ahead of schedule. So why we say ahead of schedule? Okay, you can also refer it in here. When the SPI is positive, so that means we are ahead of schedule. So we are talking about the schedule. Or when you look at our variance or at completion variance, it is also positive. So we can say that it is ahead of schedule. Next, what will be our reference? Okay, that two things, these two parameters, you can refer to this regarding the what do you mean whether it is ahead of schedule or behind schedule. So that means if SPI is negative in negative value, so we are behind the schedule. Or the at completion variance is in negative value, so we are. Oh no, not at completion variance. I mean the when we say SPI, this is the earned value less the planned value. Divided by the planned value. The CPI is earned value divided by the what they call this, the actual cost. So if we will be referring when we say ahead of schedule, that means our SPI is positive, and our I mean the schedule variance. Sorry to tell you that at completion variance is different than the schedule variance, because at completion variance, this is the difference of the at completion estimated completion less the budget at completion, meaning this is the value for the completion of the project. But when we say schedule variance, this is the difference of referring to the current period. Our current period, our planned value is we have a planned value for each period. So for our current period, our planned value is this one. And our earned value is this one. So that means if you calculate the difference of the earned value against the planned value, so it will give you what we call the schedule variance. Okay, so earned value less the planned value will give you this value, which is positive. So that means the SPI, or we can call it as we are ahead of schedule. Okay, take note of that. Take note of the at completion variance and the other variances of the project. Okay. When it comes to the project performance, yeah, project performance field. So that is the our reference here when we say ahead of schedule or behind schedule. If the SPI is positive and the schedule variance is positive, or the schedule variance is positive, then we are ahead of schedule. And take note that when SPI and the schedule variance should always be on a consistent value. It must not be that the schedule variance is negative while the SPI is positive. Or when we say performance index, we are talking about not the positive or negative, but we are talking about the values here, that when the value of the SPI or CPI is equal to 1, so that means we are on schedule. But when the SPI or CPI is greater than 1, so that means we are ahead of schedule, right? And when the SPI or CPI is less than 1 or is less than 1, so that means we are behind schedule. So meaning the threshold here is that less than 1, 1, or greater than 1. Okay? So when it is greater than 1, we are ahead of schedule. When it is less than 1, we are behind schedule. But when it is equals to 1, we are on schedule. Okay, now referring now to the schedule variance. So when the schedule variance is a negative, in negative value, that is behind schedule. But when the schedule variance is positive in value, that is ahead of schedule. So that is why we put it in here ahead of schedule. But how can we call that it is on schedule? Of course, if the schedule variance is equals to 0, then we are on schedule. So meaning, correlating these two, SPI and the schedule variance, when the SPI is equals to 1 and the schedule variance is equals to 0, that means we are on schedule. Okay? When the SPI is greater than 0 or is higher than 1, or the schedule variance is positive, so that means we are ahead of schedule. Okay, so you can use these two parameters to determine to determine the schedule of procession or the position of our performance on our project. So that means when our schedule variance is less than 1, or the SPI is or I mean is that when the schedule variance is negative in value, or the SPI is less than 1, that means we are behind schedule. Okay, that's the reference. That is the reference of the position of our performance on schedule. Now take note that there should be it must not, the result must not be that the schedule variance is positive, or the schedule variance is positive in value and the SPI is less than 1. So there will be inconsistency on that report. So that means you have to review your calculation. But anyway, Primavera is the one calculating it. So I'm pretty sure it is more on accuracy on calculating, because it is a software rather than calculating manually. So you can get mistake or error when it comes to the consistency of the SPI and the CPI, or the schedule variance and the SPI. So, okay. Next is we have here the to date. That is why I put here to date, because we are considering on the current, the current period of our update. Okay. To date, we are under budget. So that means we are referring here for the spending or expenditure of the project. So here we have to refer here either the CPI or the SPI, or the cost variance, So when the cost variance is greater or bigger than or higher than 0, or the CPI is higher than 1, so that means we are under budget. That means we are spending less compared to our performance. Okay. So when our cost variance is 0 and our CPI is 1, then we are on budget. Okay. So when we say on budget, it should always be that CPI is equals to 1 and the cost variance is 0. Okay. It cannot be that the cost variance is higher than or is bigger than 0 and our CPI is equal to 1 or less than 0. So there is an inconsistency of the calculation. Okay. If the calculation is really correct, so you can use either of these two, the CPI or the CPI or the cost variance, in determining the standing or the status of the project or the activity or work package. Okay, so that means when we say when it comes to a schedule, we are referring to the SPI and the schedule variance. Okay, but when it comes to the budget terminologies, so we are referring into the CPI and the cost variance. Okay, okay, let's move forward. So to date, or additional information, when we say under budget, we are talking, when we say to budget terminologies here, we are talking on the cost performance of our project. So the spending, the status of the spending of the project. for the current period. So to date, next is to date cost under run. So we are talking here for the accounting variance. I included his report because when we say accounting variance, we are referring to the expenditure, which is the actual cost, comparing to our planned value cost or our budget. Okay, actually, this is the accounting terminology. They are always referring into the budget against the spending. So it's a very simple analysis that whatever you have planned or what budget you have set for a particular period or certain period, then your actual cost or expenditure should go through or should align with the budget, or otherwise you may be overspending or underspending. Okay, so that is why I put it in here. Today's cost underrun. So meaning, since our accounting variance is positive in value, so when it is zero, so that means it is fair enough. Okay, just balance or no more, no less. Okay, but since it is bigger than zero, so we are under run. So when it is less than zero, that is we are overrun. So meaning at a current period, the spending is much. When we say overrun, that means we are spending much than the budget. Okay. Okay, let's move forward. So our cost underrun at completion. Okay, so here we are considering the cost at completion. Okay. So we are comparing here the at completion estimate to complete, or I mean estimate at completion against the budget. Okay. So if the estimate at completion, so that we put it in here, the at completion variance. So it is just a matter of negative value, zero, and positive value. So of course, when it is positive, we are on the run. Okay. We are considering the projection of the project cost at completion, not at the current period. So when we say at current period, so I put it in here, the to date. This is for the current period. But when we say at completion, this is the projection, the cost projection of our project, considering the what you call considering performance, not the project cost, because we have also here the when we say cost underrun at completion, that is for the project cost. It just now it comes out that they are the same because we are using the ETC is equals to remaining total cost. But how about if we will be using the other technique? So that means it will not be the same. So when you say cost underrun, this to date cost underrun, this pertains to the expenditure or the actual expenditure at the current period. But when we say cost underrun at completion, so this is the projection. Okay, the projection of the cost at completion. So our projection here is that it is underrun because it comes out here that our at completion variance is positive, which is the equal to the estimate or the budget at completion less the estimated completion, it gives up 711, which is less. So meaning the at completion, I mean the estimated completion is less than the budget. So meaning we are not exceeding the total budget of the project compared to the our projection for the completion of the project. Okay, next. Okay, next we will go to delay and disruption. So it is apparently we don't have any delay yet registered for our project, so everything is none. So this will be our parameters here to use to show. We have the description. If we have a delay, so we have to put it in here. The responsible party, of course, we have the contractor, the owner, client, the concurrent delays or the external delays, and others. Okay, let's move chronology. So this means we will have to show here the sequence of the delay or disruption. Let's say if this is the first delay events or disruption, so we have to put it here 1. So when this period is the uh, uh, there is a delay occurrence, which is the second delay events. So we have to put it the second or 2, 3, 4, and so on. Okay. Next, the actual delay duration. Okay, so what is meant by the actual delay duration? So of course, it is self-explanatory that when there is a delay, so the actual duration for that is the when the delay started and when the delay uh, had been finished. So that is what we call the actual delay duration. So if the delay is still in progress and it is not yet completed, so the actual duration for that one is the data date less the actual start. Okay, let's move. The purpose of putting our actual delay duration here is, of course, to calculate the cost, right? And also the calculation of the extension of time, or when the delay affects the milestone of the project or push the milestone of the project into a delay situation. So that is the purpose. So our previous at completion duration. So meaning if we have our previous completion duration, at completion duration, I mean, actually I just put it in here in A, but we can put it in here as 305 because we can also consider that our previous or I mean it should be 0 because we have no I mean update schedule yet, but only the baseline schedule. So we can put it also 305. So anyway, in A or 305, there is no use yet in our analysis. Or okay, so let's move forward. So let me reiterate that the previous at completion duration, that means it is at completion duration of the previous update, or in window delay analysis, we call it the previous window, okay, or previous period update at completion duration. Okay, next, current at completion duration. So of course, if the previous has its own at completion duration, so the current program will also have and must have also at completion duration. So the purpose of this one is that we will be using this for our window schedule delay analysis that the previous at completion duration will be for the previous window, and the current at completion duration is the current window, and we will be taking the difference of the two window, the difference of the completion duration. Okay. Anyway, later if we have the delay situation, or if we will be assuming a delay on our progress update, you will realize that later. I'm just giving you an advanced idea on how it is really, what really the use of, okay, period duration delay. So what is this one, the period duration delay? Yes, this is what we call the difference of delay of these two window is called the period duration delay. Okay. Let's say, for example, at our current window, it shows at completion duration is 300, and our previous was, let's say, 305. So the period delay duration is what? Of course, 0, because we don't have any period delay duration. Instead, we have a 5 days delay ahead. Okay. Okay, let's move forward. Delay classification. So this one, delay classification, we have there the if you can remember, the compensable and non the excusable compensable. The second one is excusable non-compensable, and the other one is the non-excusable and non-compensable. Okay. Next is the delay actual cost. So of course, if there is a delay occurrence, you have to calculate or estimate the delay, the actual cost of the delay, for the purpose of a cost claim whenever there is a delay occurrence. Okay, so when there is a what do we call that, a identified delays, and mostly delays, there is always a cost associated with it. But it doesn't mean that the cost is claimable, or it doesn't mean that the cost is always claimable. Okay, next is the non-excusable, non-compensable delays to date. So we will be putting the cumulative number of days here, of days delays here, for the non-excusable, non-compensable delays to date, meaning up to this period. So that is the cumulative amount or cumulative value of the duration. But since now we don't have any delays yet, so we have nothing. Next is the excusable, non-compensable delays to date, and the other one, excusable, compensable delays to date. Okay. And the delay actual cost to date. To here, the delay actual cost, that means this is specific for the delay event for the current period. But here, this is the delay actual cost to date. This is the cumulative amount of the delay cost, meaning it includes the previous delay cost plus the current cost of delay. Okay, now let's move forward. So that the purpose here is that at a glance, or we can see the values quickly on this summary report. Okay, because sometimes we will be asking how much is the cost of the delay to date. So at least we can see it here quickly, right? So how much is the delay? Let's say there is a question that how much is the cost of the delay at this current period only. So this is the answer. And now here is the remarks that there is no delay and disruption occurrence at this period. Okay. And then here is the final or the conclusion of the report. So the project schedule is ahead of contractual completion. The projected completion cost is underrun. Okay, so the project performance to date is ahead of schedule. So when I put it always green, because when we say green, that means we are our project is in good shape. Okay, but when it will be red, then it is in bad shape. Okay, the project performance to date is under budget. The project cost performance to date is underrun. And the projected cost performance at completion is underrun. Actually, this refers to this one here. Okay. This one refers to here. This one is here. Ahead of schedule. I don't know what I mean. This one refers to here. That is, it's about project schedule, schedule elements of the project. So this one refers to here. This one refers to projected completion cost. This one. And then the project performance to date is ahead of schedule, this one. And the project performance to date is under budget, this one. And the project cost performance to date is underrun, this one. Okay, so this means this is the accounting method of measurement on the cost variances. And now we have here the projected cost performance at completion is underrun. So this is it. So meaning in considering the performance method of calculating the estimate to complete or estimate at completion, our projection here is that the cost will be completed underrun. Okay. Using the technique of ATC is equals to RTC. Okay, I think we're fine. This is good enough for us for today. Okay, let's move forward. Oh, there's another one. No delay and disruption are present at this period. Okay, moving forward. So our next episode is part 4, session 23. Kindly subscribe, like, and share. Session 23 is about progress update 001 also. This is about the Primavera P6 report file or file exporting of file. And the second one is the reports archive. Okay. So here, mostly in every project, or I mean in every period, the clients or owner requires, I mean the archiving of, I mean requires the Primavera file to be included in the regular reports of the project. So we will be submitting the report file for that, for the progress update or current progress update. So we will be exporting the file in I mean the .xer file, and it will be submitted to the client as a regular or standard report, or to be included in our report or regular or monthly report or periodic report. So we will be executing this one for the next episode, and also the reports archive. So meaning every reports that we have to officially submit into our client or owners or So somewhere else, we have to keep it for future reference. So archiving of the reports is very important. And I will explain to you the use of reports and the importance of reports archives for the next episode. Okay, see you and thank you. End of our session. God bless to all and goodbye.